Hey! You! Listening to this podcast right now! Do you want to hear a fucking podcast about anything and everything? Yeah. Like movies, music, television, and more?
Oh my god.
Well, you've come to the right place.
Yes.
Subscribe to Journey into Comics Network, and you get Podcastrophe, hosted by me,
Yes.
Dick. Why not throw a couple bucks to the Patreon? It's your choice. Yeah. This is a Podcastrophe.
That sounds so awesome.
The following is a Journey into Comics Network production.
This is a tasty burger.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
Do you want some coffee, Mr. Tully?
Do I? Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air. Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Give me those Star Wars any old day. It's Star Wars, those near and far wars. Please don't let Star Wars come to an end. There's Ray, Finn and Poe and BB-8 as well. What a cute and wacky little droid. And hey, it's Kylo Ren in his black and evil mask. Does he scare you as much as he scares me? Star Wars. Star Wars.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Foodies Watching Movies. This is Season 2, Episode 8. Today, it is a festive time of year. It's a brunch season, if you will. We are talking about a whole modicum of things, Star Wars and other things. But today, joining me, as always, the co-founder of Foodies Watching Movies, Veronica. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. And, of course, as always, we're joined by the always awesome and fun to have AP. Welcome back.
Hey, it's good to be back. Finally back in the Nate studio.
Yeah, we've been doing things all over the place in the podcasting world. I feel like I'm like a touring podcaster at this point because I just travel so much.
Using a podcasting van?
Yes. Oh my God, that would be amazing. Just in the van is the studio.
Sounds borderline creepy, but I think it could work.
Get in the van. We're going to make a podcast.
Yeah. Hey, man, you want to do a podcast in my van?
It's my pod van.
Into the pod van. Oh, my God.
Oh, I'm going to design that.
His wheels turning.
Oh, man. I'm doing something for something. I'm making something with that. That's great. Today, we've got a lot of different awesome things to talk about. It's a very, like I said, holiday-y time of year. It's leading up to Christmas. This is our go-home episode. Next time people will hear us will be after Christmas and right before the New Year. Actually, it will be right after the New Year as well. So this is our last episode of 2017. So, c'est la vie 2017.
I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on.
Outside of entertainment, definitely fine with everything else 2017 going away.
Yeah, entertainment was great, but I guess there was also things in the entertainment industry, though.
Yeah.
Not so great, so I guess
this has been an interesting year for the entertainment industry. I read something funny on Facebook today, just scrolling, about how Tom Hanks is probably going to be getting a lot of jobs coming up in the new year.
The nicest guy in Hollywood.
He'll be like the only one left.
Yeah, that's one thing. I don't know how like the coming award shows they're not going to be able to joke about that. That's not okay. So I don't know what they're going to say anything about it and just be like very awkward.
I don't know.
Well, I think you can make fun of the person being scummy
SNL's certainly been doing a good job about it.
And just like making the characterization of a person is a great way to bring light to the people that really like that. So
I do want to shout out to SNL because they've been on point this season, I think. The last 2 seasons have been really funny.
Yeah, I think they said this season's the highest rated next to last season, which
last season was great.
Really knocked it out of the park.
I'm really into SNL this year.
Yeah, they've done a great job. They have a great cast.
Yeah.
They also have the first black head writer in series history with Michael Che.
He's the head writer?
Well, he's co-head writer. He's one of like 4 head writers that they have.
Wow.
That's cool.
But in SNL's long history, they've never had a black head writer.
Che's jokes always land with me on the Weekend Update. He's a very funny person. I loved his stand-up. He's hilarious.
I'm obsessed with Kate McKinnon.
Yeah.
Like everybody else.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's hilarious.
And she does a great Hillary. It's terrifying how real it is.
I just love all of her different lesbian characters because it's just so funny and on point.
I liked her when she was Jeff Sessions. I liked her Jeff Sessions.
Oh,
when he was,
my God, when he's
Forrest
like
Gump.
a possum or
I loved when he was
something.
Forrest Gump.
I forgot about that one too.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon's the shit. She's super funny.
So we should talk about what we had for food today.
Yeah, we had a nice little Christmassy brunch.
Do you want to dish on that?
Okay, yeah, so we decided that we wanted to have brunch today. It's a cold winter morning and whatever. So AP brought over some mimosa fixins, which they were delicious. I'm still sipping on mine. And we had to get the orange juice with the pulp, of course.
Oh, I love that when I was like, do you like pulp? I always like some pulp. And you put a Pulp Fiction picture up on our Facebook.
It was,
it was
Travolta, right?
Yeah, AP sent a message to our group. What kind of orange juice do you want? Pulp or no pulp? No pulp. And I'm just like, oh, well, of course we need all the pulp.
Oh, yeah.
And then I sent a little John Travolta gif.
And then we went to the store this morning and bought more orange juice with even more pulp.
Yeah, we got the high pulp.
Oh, man.
High pulp?
Yeah, the Simply Orange. I'm excited about that. So anyway, yeah, so we had mimosas for breakfast while we were cooking. Nate was making magnificent French toast. We used cottage bread and put cinnamon and vanilla in the mixture, and it turned out perfect. I really loved it. And then I made...
Also almond milk.
Oh, yeah, and we put almond milk in it, you know. And then Nate burnt the bacon. We had some thick-cut bacon that turned into the return of the bacon sludge.
Yes, return of the sludge.
Put that on some that Nutella spread that you made.
Yeah,
that was
amazing. Okay, so this fruit frosting that I made today is just like a brick of cream cheese mixed with a teaspoon of vanilla, like a half a cup of confectioner's sugar, and then a couple tablespoons of Nutella. So it was like super light and fluffy, and you could spread it like frosting. And that's what I did. We made little sandwiches out of it, and I cut up some fresh raspberries and some strawberries, and then we covered it in fucking maple syrup, and it was spectacular. I'm super pleased with our brunch endeavor.
We have amazing pictures, by the way. I don't know if you peeped those yet.
Oh, yeah. I looked at them. We'll post them on our Instagram later today.
Yeah.
So you can see what our brunch looked like before we ate it.
We had never done a brunch.
We have not.
No, we stick to like lunch and dinners typically.
Or
but
pizza.
Or pizza, yeah.
I think pizza's been like
well, we had
4
pizza
of our
last
8
night.
episodes this season.
Yeah.
Really? Is that high a number?
It's at least 3.
Well, it's my favorite.
At least 3. Wow, I didn't realize it was even that many this season.
I think it was our
return episode. Welcome back.
Because
we did pizza as like we did with the first episode of the first season, and then when did we do it again? Even
I think we did it like 2 episodes later.
I don't.
Did we
remember.
do like the first Lauren episode? Didn't we have pizza?
That was the first episode.
Oh yeah.
She's been on.
I feel like we've done it more than once though. I don't know.
Yeah, because the first episode, Lauren came on as a guest.
That's right.
And then we loved having her on so much, we just were like, "Hey, you need to be a co-host." She's like, "Okay."
We should mention Lauren is not
Lauren's
here
sick
today.
She couldn't make it today. Shout out to Lauren. We miss you.
Feel better.
We'll bring you a mimosa.
Do you want a mimosa?
I don't know if the mimosa would help her.
Or make it worse.
Maybe a hot toddy.
Hot toddy.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brunch is great. And I love
Brunch.
making French toast. You gave me some cool tips today. I make French toast differently. I usually just like use egg, pepper, and salt, and just kind of
pepper.
Yeah, a little bit.
You put pepper in your French toast?
Just a tiny bit, and then when you put the cinnamon on it and they mix, it's like
you
a
put
sweet heat.
Pepper on your French toast?
Just a pinch, yeah.
Nate, I just realized Justice League's brunch reference. Do you remember that with the Flash?
I don't.
When he's like, you do have friends and you guys go get like brunch or do you remember that? I was
yes.
So loser has to have brunch?
You know, I didn't hate Ezra Miller in that movie as much as I thought I was going to. In Justice League.
I wanted to not like him because I'm like, Grant Gustin
Nobody can beat Grant Gustin.
But I
He's
was like,
the Flash for me for all time.
I can accept him as a Flash. He's not. It's not my Flash, but
he's not my Flash.
But he's a Flash.
All right, so
So yeah, we had a delicious, beautiful brunch.
yeah, very full.
The fruit was tasty and on sale.
That's the best part about it.
Also, the most interestingly shaped strawberries I've ever seen.
Yeah, they were weird.
Almost grape
They were
shaped.
like elongated, like oblong, and I actually like cut them like into
They were good for cutting.
slices. Yeah, it was weird.
It worked really nice. It was a really great spread.
Yeah, it was really good.
This was a very delicious, different food for us. Not
We
very
should do
heavy.
breakfast and brunch more often. I think that's where it's at.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wanted to try your
Did we do eggs at one point on a show? But it was like as a part of a. Oh, you did the
during the Chopped Club. That was episode 3. Was Chopped Club.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, we should do another brunch episode or like a strict breakfast or something.
Sure, I can't wait for an episode where Nate doesn't cook.
Well,
You're the one who keeps volunteering.
What we should do.
Well, next time I'm not volunteering.
Maybe in season 3 we can have an episode in my neck of the woods and we can.
Yes, I would love that. We could do that even in season 2. We've got time.
Yeah,
lots of episodes to go.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we're looking at a 24 episode season.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
And
Yeah,
we'll only
definitely have
take
to-
like a month off and then come right back to it.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to come up to my neck of the woods.
Well, we'll need those episodes based on how much shit we've already been watching. Like we've seen 3 movies in the past couple.
6 days, I've seen 2 movies in theaters, but I saw one twice.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, do you want to just jump into what we're talking about today?
Well,
speaking of what we've seen,
we're gonna talk Star Wars eventually because it's Star Wars week on the network. Everybody, I feel like every show is gonna discuss Star Wars in some form or fashion.
It's tis the season. It's Star Wars Day.
Actually, I want to take that back because Podcastrophe was pre-recorded before Last Jedi came out, so that episode is not going to be Star Wars related. But the next episode, his episode 17, I'm sure will. So he'll just be a little out of sync with the network. But for the most part, it'll be all
I do
Star
have to
Wars.
say, I'm kind of circling back, but if we save our money when we go to my neck of the woods, we can go see a movie at the 4DX theater by me.
What is 4DX?
It's a total immersion, like sight, sound, smells. Like if there's
weird,
if there's like fire, you can smell smoke in the theater. If it's raining, you can feel water on your face. Like there's misting and stuff. It's very immersive.
Sounds dope.
If it'd be the right movie, but when you're paying for it's like.
Do they have Star Wars in 4DX?
Probably.
Holy shit!
It's only like. It's a little more expensive. It's like probably $10 more than like the average movie ticket.
So it's like $26.
Yeah, but still, for what you're getting, for if you found the right movie,
but
like
full...
Infinity War or something, would be.
Oh my god, we have to plan that. We got to plan.
Oh my gosh, that'll be our. I don't know where the calendar is. I'm panicking. I can't. I'll look
You're
later.
locked in.
I'm
like
locked in.
Episode 15 or something.
Stuck. But somewhere around there, maybe we can do that. The Infinity War weekend, we can do a wrap up at your neck of the woods and see it in 4DX.
Yeah,
you said, "Wow, it's a lot of things to
lot of-
say."
Yeah.
I was like,
The future.
It's at this theater in Gurney, which is like 20 minutes from my place.
"Oh wow, not bad." You live north.
I'm
man,
I'm
you're
up near
up there.
Wisconsin. Yeah,
North.
it's like less than an hour to Milwaukee.
True
for me.
north.
Then why the hell didn't you come to our show?
Damn.
We played a show
Struck-
in Milwaukee.
She just busted you out.
I want to
Oh,
see.
wow.
I think I might see your Beat House show.
We're playing a show at the Beat Kitchen.
Oh, Beat Kitchen
in Chicago on the 10th of January.
The Beat House. Oh man, that might be the episode title.
Maybe we should, for our sound check at that show, play Beat on the Brat.
Oh yeah, I like
be
that.
Fun.
Okay, I like that. We're already wheels are turning. We'll get back to that.
That's a different topic. Anyway.
Well, I was gonna before we got really deep into food or into the movie side of thing, I wanted to try to bring a segment back that Sorta Live used to do. That was Brando's first spin-off show. Went a couple episodes. I think it went like 9 episodes or something. But they would always try something new on the show that they've never had before and experience it together and then discuss. I have brought today for us a Hershey's Gold Peanuts and Pretzels bar with caramelized cream. So I'm going to open this thing
Sounds
up.
interesting.
And I'll start sharing it with you guys. It's already broke up into 3 pieces.
So it's gold chocolate.
Yes.
It looks interesting.
I don't like peanuts.
Kind of looks like a.
Wow, it breaks perfectly. This is This is nuts.
Kind of looks like a bark, like a peanut bark.
Sure. So.
Well, it has like pretzels in it, and
there's
shit.
one for you.
Okay.
All right. So, V's gonna take a picture first, and then we'll get into actually eating it and try it. We'll do it together.
It smells good.
Definitely smells good.
I like peanut butter.
How's it looking in the photography?
Lame,
This
but
is
whatever.
live Instagram. We'll figure it out later. I'll take
Whatever.
one. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, cheers.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, hot damn. In the words of you,
I like the pretzel.
it's just enough. It's subtle. It's a little bit of salty. It's a lot of sweet in a good way. Very well balanced.
This is fucking incredible.
That might be my favorite non-traditional Hershey's chocolate.
I have never had anything like this before in my life.
Here, there's more.
Holy shit.
Here.
I think
Yeah,
I
give
think
it
V's
to
gonna
me.
buy a bar of it on her
Give
way
it
home.
to me. Wow, way to go, Hershey's.
I'm glad I picked this up.
Yeah, it's really good.
Stellar. What
It's
are
like
your...
salty and peanut buttery, but like it's nothing is like overpowering it. It's like perfectly balanced, and it's got that crunch from the pretzel.
And the
peanut butter
peanut.
pie.
I fucking dig it. I
peanut
really
butter
was
pie?
not anticipating liking this at all, and I didn't want to try it, but I did.
This would make the greatest blizzard.
Oh my god, Nathaniel!
Can you make our own?
You know what it tastes like? It tastes like Heath bars.
Like a Heath bar made love to a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring,
Without the chocolate.
I'm gonna bring my ice cream maker
it's
here.
fucking amazing.
We're gonna do it.
We have an ice cream maker.
We're gonna make a blizzard.
Oh my god, why aren't we doing that?
We'll do that for feature week.
Okay, great.
Handled.
Are these like a limited edition, or are they going to be out?
Wanna stockpile them?
Shit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
'cause these are really good.
Salt. It says sweet meets salty, creamy meets crunchy. It's yeah.
Yes,
it
that's a
doesn't say
perfectly
any-
accurate
It
description.
doesn't say anything about whether or not it's limited edition,
But I would think.
but I would guess probably
at least a short run until
Well,
to gauge
that's a
interest.
question for Google then, because I need to know.
we will. We'll try to
I'm gonna buy
go
some
to
boxes.
maybe like Walgreens or something and stock up on these. These are phenomenal, folks. If you have not, go try the Hershey's Gold. It's maybe the best candy bar.
It's
Yeah.
6 thumbs up, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, 6 thumbs up because there's 3 of us and we have
It's
both
extra.
2 thumbs. It is extra, so extra. Man,
It's got some. Oh my god, it's so good. These would be amazing for like a cupcake garnish.
yes.
I was thinking like a pie. Like I feel like it tastes like a peanut butter pie to me a little bit.
What if you made a peanut butter pie and then just like crumbled this
On
shit
top.
on top?
Yeah, or
Like
maybe
with some whipped
melt a little bit,
cream.
just layer the top layer just with that.
It might be a little
Yes.
much, but I think I could dig it.
Okay.
Definitely a blizzard though.
It
Definitely
would
a
also
blizzard.
be good for fondue. You know, just like
Dip that in
Yeah.
fondue. Just a piece of it, just like
more of it
The
in itself.
possibilities are endless, my friends.
Inception.
That is Inception. That's crazy. Those were fantabulastic.
Yeah, I'm
We've
still
had hit or miss
eating
with
it.
our tasting. This was awesome.
This
Oh my
was like
God, it's so good.
There were no flaws in the things we've eaten today.
I know we
Man.
did it. We finally did it, guys. Except the fact that you burnt the bacon, but
I love
it still
I love that
tasted
bacon.
good.
But I'm a crunchy bacon fan.
I do like crunchy bacon, and I didn't mean to burn it, but I didn't realize I was in charge of the bacon because you put it in, and then you asked me to look at it the one time.
No, I asked you like 3 times to check on it.
I don't like floppy bacon. That's not like
Ew.
Thank
like
you.
It's, yeah,
Just like flip flops around, or it's real.
it looks like turkey
thin.
bacon at that.
No,
point.
I like
It's like
perfectly
almost
done
translucent.
bacon.
Oh, where it's just
I like
an
my
orangish
bacon to be
reddish
in
color.
between the two we just talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. AP, you had a segment today you wanted to do. Do you want to get into
Yeah.
that?
So one thing that I've talked about for a while that I always like, and I actually said this when I came over, that I would probably pay like $5 to sit in a theater and watch like all the current trailers. Like there's an hour in the theater just watching all the trailers, because sometimes the trailer is so much better than the movie that actually it's about. You're like, I would hate this movie, but this trailer makes me think I'm gonna love it.
Right. You know what? Part of going to the movies that I never used to like was the trailers, but as I've gotten older, I've come to really anticipate seeing the trailers before a movie, you know? And we were really excited to see what kind of trailers we were going to see during The Last Jedi.
Right.
You know, and there were some really good trailers.
It's also really interesting that, like, sometimes they'll put it, because usually, at least in my experience when I go see movies, that usually the trailers are of a similar theme to what the movie is or a similar genre, but sometimes there's some, like, those left field trailers. Like I know, at least Nate and I saw it before, the Miracle, or the Perfect Miracle Season.
The three, yeah, V saw that one too. That was for the AMC viewings.
Right.
And it did not belong before my Star Wars.
I mean, it was a feel-good sports movie. That
It's like what you're going to watch in your high school health class when your teacher's absent.
Yeah.
And then they also had that first Wolf movie. That didn't really belong before my Star Wars.
Like, I understand, like, you're getting a large audience for these movies, or, like, throw something that might not get a lot of traction otherwise. Maybe someone or some kid, because everyone over a lot of demographics are seeing The Last Jedi, so they have a good group to show, like, a random trailer to.
Absolutely.
That was the random one for me.
Yeah.
That one I could have done without seeing.
You know, it kind of picked up, though. Got to see the, we've talked about it a little bit, but the Jurassic Park trailer was cool.
Yeah, the Fallen Kingdom.
I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not really, like, super amped about this new one.
It looks like the movie is the trailer.
I'm obsessed with
Jurassic World.
I'm obsessed with Jurassic Park. Like, I love the franchise. I really liked the last one that came out. I loved Chris Pratt.
Did you like all of the one? Like, did you like 2 and 3 of, like, the original run?
Well, I'm a big fucking nerd, so of course I did. I mean, the third one was shit. It was a horrible movie, but I still watched
Vince
it.
Vaughn.
And we still own it.
Yeah.
You know, my kid is obsessed with Jurassic Park. Like he watched it somewhere and is now like super obsessed with it and loves dinosaurs.
Yeah, one thing I can't figure out is the time lapse between in the trailer. It looks like decades have passed, but I think it's only been a few years. But how fast they're showing, like, going back to the island, and so how much of it's been like taken over by like nature. I'm like, it's only been like a few years. It can't be that.
Maybe 3 at most.
Yeah, like I can't.
I don't know.
And just Chris Pratt with a mustache. I'm like, okay, Chris Pratt, what are you doing?
I love Chris Pratt.
Yeah, being Star-Lord as Star-Lord can be.
He's enjoying movies these days because he's in most of them.
He gets to.
I'm cool with it.
He gets to be a part of something special. Another trailer that we saw that was awesome. We'll just get into it. We talked about it a little bit. You and I did. But the see, I did it again. The Infinity War Avengers trailer.
Yeah, Nate was super jacked about seeing this in the theater, like the Infinity War trailer.
Well, I feel like being a Spider-Man fan, you probably really loved the Spider-Man stuff that was in that trailer.
I did. I loved the look.
So good.
I love that kid.
I love that they did an interesting way to do the sense in this.
Yes, well, and it's cool because he like the goosebumps happen, so he has the feeling of something.
Sense.
Makes you think of when you get goosebumps and you get that like overwhelming sense within your gut, so you immediately can kind of understand what he's feeling internally, but then mentally he just locks on to the problem. Like immediately he knows where to look.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait for this movie. I think it's going to be great.
Kevin Feige just came out and said the first 5 minutes he's going to do brutal stuff to the MCU.
And we were talking about our predictions about that because we just watched Thor Ragnarok in theaters.
Yeah.
We finally got around to seeing it.
So you guys saw Infinity War trailer without seeing Thor Ragnarok. So you had probably questions about the whole eye patch, short hair, all that.
And then we finally got to see Thor in theaters on... we both really liked it. We thought it was really great. We did a little mini episode about that, didn't we?
Yeah, it's going to come out on Patreon sometime in the next week or so. But we're going to release it as like a Foodies special that you and I did about Thor Ragnarok. We did a really nice 30-some minute review of the movie.
That really taxed on that. 'Cause I think I did like a quick 5 minutes on a field report I did a few episodes
Maybe
back.
we can add that to the end of it as like an extra. I'll go back and clip it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, even more exclusive content for our patrons.
Yeah, definitely. That's a way to do it. $1 gets you early access. $3 gets you that exclusive content. Patreon.com/Journey into Comics. Back to the episode. We're talking about predictions in Infinity War. You know, there's a lot of things that can happen. I feel like Tony Stark probably not making it out of this movie. Or Cap. One of the two has to go.
I feel like it's going to be
Cap. One or two,
Cap.
if not both.
I think both is a little over dramatic, because like
I have a feeling I'll say this. I think we might see their death, but I don't know if the death will stick. Is how I say. I think both will die.
Maybe only one will stick.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think there are going to be a lot of death scenes or seemingly death scenes.
My prediction is that it's going to open with like Thor in space being boarded by Thanos, and then Thanos just annihilating all of the Asgardians, and then that's going to be it. And then he gets like picked up by the Guardians of the Galaxy or something, you know.
Yeah, because if you tie in all the different footage we've seen, because there was a little bit of the footage that was seen at San Diego Comic-Con that leaked, where Thor's body is floating dead in space. He hits the Guardian's ship, the Milano, and then boards. So my thing is, like you said, Thanos boards the ship. Loki's like, here's the Tesseract. I've succumbed to your will. I've done what you asked. Now I do not owe a debt to Thanos. Don't forget me in the future.
This is all conjecture, by the way.
Well, correct.
One thing I was thinking about, at least thinking about back to Thor, like if he wouldn't have, because when he saw the Tesseract when he was walking through the room, if he wouldn't have grabbed it, would have just ceased to exist, or would have just gotten lost somewhere in space during the whole.
Because Asgard was destroyed at the end of Thor Ragnarok. Spoilers.
Would have just been thrown to some far-reaching part of the galaxy.
That's actually a great question, but he definitely grabbed it.
Yeah, you know he did.
Because of course.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have done the 2 seconds of him going.
Him checking it out, like, oh shit, there you are.
But I think once Thanos gets the Tesseract from Loki, he will blow up that ship. You will see the Asgardians die. Thor and Hulk will be exploded into space. Thor with the Guardians. Hulk in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
I don't know how well, I guess it depends on where they were at the time.
Well, because they're trying to go to Earth.
Right, so they were. That's probably he just got this head start. And that's probably why in the trailer they had Benedict Wong and Tony and all them just showing at the Sanctorum with Bruce Banner just untransformed in a giant crater in the middle of the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah, he's picking up steam.
I also
coming
love
from
Doctor
space.
Strange.
I love Doctor Strange. Man, Benedict Cumberbatch is like just so perfectly cast in that movie, don't you think?
Absolutely.
I love him, and we need to finish watching Sherlock, damn it.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
I promise. I promise we will. Back to trailers. We had some more on the list.
Yeah.
What do you want to go down to next?
Ready Player One.
Oh man, this looks heavy.
This is one of those movies that surprised me because I didn't read the book, to be honest.
The book was great.
And I hadn't searched out the trailer. So seeing it for the first time in theaters was like, holy shit.
I did not know what to expect.
Like there's a DeLorean.
What the hell was going on? Yeah, Stephen King's Christine was in there.
Iron Giant.
Yeah,
and then he doesn't look like a Steven Spielberg film. I was like, Steven Spielberg made this movie?
Yeah, it's like very futuristic. I thought it was like going to be District 9 2 or something.
Yeah, it looked like that dystopian opening, and man, this movie looks crazy. I'm excited to see it, but
and I know
feel like it's going to be really sad.
They got real. It's
just going to be too actiony.
It's not. People who have read the book will not be spoiled by this movie. Is how they said it. Like they're going to go in a similar but different direction, so you're not going to know how it's going to actually end.
Oh, that's
so it's one of those like
nice.
You know when you see an adaptation, you're like, oh, I know exactly how this will end, more or less. This one's going to be like. It could end entirely different, but it's going to follow the same major points.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. That's exciting. I'm ready to see Ready Player One. I love the concept that it's there's an Easter egg somewhere in the VR game, and if you can find it, then you get like $1 trillion or something.
Yeah, you get $500 billion, and
you get to
basically
take over.
you own the internet.
You own the Oasis,
which
the
is
Oasis
essentially
is
the
what they
internet
call
now,
it.
because that's all that exists.
Mm-hmm.
Just a literal land of VR, which is a really cool, interesting concept. It doesn't.
Yeah, and we've had the opportunity to play like VR games before recently, and it's really interesting how immersive it can feel. You know.
I think I played a game called like RoboKill or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I remember watching you play that. You were like a robot Terminator dude, and you had to just shoot like other things.
It's crazy.
But watching you do it was so fucking funny, and I took a little video of it.
Yeah, because I was like breathing really heavy and stuff because I was getting into
it.
Like it was weird, you know. You're in VR and you're like looking left and right, and sure, your peripheral, and that's okay, whatever. You could fake your peripheral, but then you look straight up. And it feels like you're looking into the sun, and I'm just like, how do you replicate? Like, that's amazing that you can replicate that at all.
Yeah, the one that I did was really creepy. It was like a Face Your Fear one where I was like taken up into an elevator. It was, and then the elevator doors open, and I was on top of the roof of like the Chrysler Building in some like weird cityscape. And there was a giant like alien invasion attack, and like the city is crumbling, and like the alien grabs you at one point, and you're like being flown around in the air, and you're like super super high. It's like Face Your Fear of heights.
Oh yeah.
And it was fucking horrifying.
I
And I will never do it again.
The creepiest. I did a really creepy one. Like, it was kind of like like an asylum type place. You're strapped in a chair.
Heart's War or Wilson's Heart.
That's the one Sarah played.
Yes.
That was
It's
really
like black
creepy to
and white.
watch.
No, I did a different one. This one, like, you're being pushed in this wheelchair down a hallway, and there's stuff happening in the rooms you're going past. There's like a guy behind you, and you look back, and it almost looks like the Pyramid Head for a second.
Whoa.
And like it just gets really trippy, and you feel like, and then like he puts you towards the edge of the stairs, and like feel like you're gonna fall down, and then like you feel like you're falling down the stairs. It's so messed up, and it really almost gives you like vertigo. It really messes with all your senses.
Yeah,
Because you feel where you are when you're in the headset, but you also feel where you are in the VR.
It's unnerving.
Yeah, when you go, like, I think people who do it for a long period of time can get sick.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Oh, is there a cat trying to do something over there?
No, the book fell off the arm.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh no, cats. Always ruining our podcasts. Is downsizing on our list of trailers? Did we write that?
No, but I would like to talk about that.
Man.
That movie looks really interesting. I was taken aback by that trailer. That was weird.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids for adults.
Basically. And it looks like, I like the idea behind it. It's an interesting story because it's the whole dealing with overpopulation and food shortages. Like, oh, if everyone was this size, we'd have enough food forever.
So what is this movie like? What is this movie about? What is the synopsis of that movie?
So it looks like,
based off the trailer.
Yeah, so basically, someone came up with technology to shrink people to like a tenth of their size, maybe. They could make them essentially the size of maybe like an action figure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I just want to play the trailer.
I'm actually not. It's not. There's no audio. I've just got it on in the background, so you guys can kind of visualize.
So Kristen
it.
Wiig is in this movie.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig is
I
married
love
to
Kristen
Matt Damon
Wiig.
in this movie.
Matt Damon had a weird cameo in something.
Thor Ragnarok?
Yes, it was
liked
Thor Ragnarok.
He played Loki, didn't he?
Yeah, in
the
play.
theater.
But the point of this movie is that they have a problem. Earth is overpopulating. It's real. How do you solve overpopulation? You make people tiny, and the deal is that whatever money you had in the normal world is like triplicate when you go small. So your average everyday middle classer becomes like the lavish rich for choosing to downsize. But the only thing is, once you've gone down, you can't go back up.
That's so fucked up. What a weird idea for a movie.
And I mean, look how lavish it looks. Like
Yeah.
the land built is just like gorgeous because it's miniature.
Yeah, they talked about how like the amount of money you have in this is worth this much in their dollars.
So that's the incentive
Sorry.
for wanting to downsize.
So like then they had like $100,000 is like their like savings or whatever, and it's worth like millions and millions of dollars in mini money.
In mini money.
Yeah, I mean, and it's awesome because you see like a whole train car full of people next to you as a person, and it's like, it's a great concept. My favorite thing they show is like, because Matt Damon's talking about how everything's pretty normal for a long time, and then something weird happens to remind
I like
you.
this part.
Yeah, he's like, oh, God, is my junk still there?
Same size?
Well, to him, it's proportionally the same size.
So they do end up getting downsized.
Yeah, and he looks lavish and
Damn,
fancy.
honestly, I can't wait to see this movie. It looks so weird.
The trailer kind of tells you already that it's not going to work out, but I think it sucks that they spoiled that in the trailer.
Yeah, did you know what I just noticed is that the moving truck was their keepsake box, and they had movers that were moving her giant wedding ring into their house. I hadn't noticed that before.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. I mean, the concept is awesome.
Some of that stuff, like right now they're on a boat in the actual ocean. It looks terrifying.
Oh yeah, and then like this. Oh, this is my favorite scene.
Oh, the absolute vodka.
And that's a
bottle.
Probably
It's just like a normal like little fifth, probably.
Yeah. Okay, I'm excited about this movie. It looks super weird and quirky.
Christmas movie.
This year?
Wait, when is it coming out?
Year. Wow.
Oh, shit. We'll have to go see that.
Or so.
Maybe we can see that as one of our other Christmas things we do.
Yeah, maybe.
That's cool. I like
I'd be
that.
down.
Should we talk about that random movie that we weren't even talking about that all of a sudden started playing randomly?
Oh, Game Night. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Game Night with Jason Bateman.
I'm gonna pull that up while you guys are starting to discuss it.
We weren't all paying attention. I was like, "What is this movie?" And they're like, "Oh, it's maybe a Clue remake," and then it's not at all what this is.
Yeah, the trailer was intense. I don't know about the trailer; it was weird,
I was like,
but
never saw it.
I'm excited about that movie too.
I mean, the last thing I heard Jason Bateman was in was that Ozark Netflix show, which looks really good.
We didn't watch that yet. He's been in some really weird movies.
I looked
some
him in The
dark
Gift.
shit. I liked him in Juno. I thought he was such a scumbag.
It seems like this movie is everybody thinks that things are a game, and some of the things are real, and some of the things are fake. So, like, you might be in a situation where you're really handed a gun that could really shoot somebody, like you see here.
But I don't know what the premise of this movie is. It's just
They're
having
a middle-aged family game night.
a
where,
grown-up
bunch of
game
couples-
night. Couples game night.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
part of the game is this that's coming, is getting through all these tests.
Oh, okay. So people are breaking into this house.
So they think it's funny. They're just laughing at him.
But
They're
is
just
he like really getting kidnapped?
Yes.
So it's not really part of the game?
It is part of the game, though.
I think they all know. I think, but the people, they don't know what these situations are coming. I think that's part of the plot.
They're just living out the experience. And there's Matt Damon again.
That's not Matt Damon.
Yeah.
That's the guy from Fargo.
Is
That
it?
is the guy from Fargo. That's not.
He's so creepy. He's really interesting.
He really looks like Matt Damon, though.
Kinda. Maybe it's his brother.
I'm not sure. And then this lady looks like she's dead. It's very. This was one of those trailers.
looks
that
funny.
It came out of nowhere, you know?
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about this movie.
No.
But I'm excited about it.
But see, this is the guy that got kidnapped earlier in the movie, in the trailer. And then that gun is actually real.
And then it shoots Jason Bateman.
He's like, blood. It's real. This is now real. This has really happened.
What a weird movie.
The bloody dog. This is the other scene that's awesome. The dog has blood on it because I think Jason Bateman might have been bit. He's trying to wash
No,
the
I think
dog.
he was shot.
Oh, he was shot. That's right. And there's blood all over the dog. He's trying to wash the dog. The dog just turns pink. He didn't really wash the dog. This guy's about to get sucked up into this engine.
I mean, this movie has it all. It's so weird.
Yes,
I
it
feel
is
like the
very
trailer's
weird.
giving away a lot about this movie, though.
Kinda.
Why did they do that?
Because they're trying to hook you on the concept. The thing is, movie trailers do still swerve people. You know, you might
Yeah,
expect...
we were talking about that with The Last Jedi.
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff in The Last Jedi that we'll get to here shortly that it leads you to believe one thing in the movie, and then it shifts totally.
Yeah, The Last Jedi was just so full of surprises.
Well, a lot of I remember at least from seeing the trailer versus seeing the movie is like there was a lot of voiceovers that were in different scenes or scenes that were cut a little differently to make you think something else entirely was happening.
Right.
Like
right.
they actually in the trailer,
Misdirection.
they actually allude to in the trailer that Rey and Ren like talk, and I was like, that's not actually going to happen. And then they cleverly put that in. What other trailers do we have before we leave there? What do we got left here on the list?
Did we talk about Jurassic World, or was that off air?
That was the one we started with, actually.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we had Mortal Engines.
Oh yeah, you wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, because I did also I saw it, didn't know anything about it. Also, it was from the mind of Peter Jackson, a new trilogy, and also you see what looked like a little village that was riding through. It looks like a city version of Mad Max. Essentially, it looked like these cities were on wheels and driving.
It
through
looked
some
like
kind
an
of,
anime, a live-action anime,
Also,
like Mad Max style, like
Yeah, it's
super
what is behind
Frank
us? It's
Miller
London. I'm like,
apocalyptic.
what the crap? This is a giant vehicle with with houses and
A
buildings
giant
on-
city on wheels
Yeah, and
chasing a
unfortunately,
even smaller giant city on wheels.
I'm gonna try to see if it's on here, AP.
Yeah, 'cause I tried looking for it the other day because I wanted to watch it again, and I didn't see anything about it. So I think it might have been first released during. Maybe it's up now since. No, it's still
not out.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what that movie's going to be about.
A lot of people trying to cash in on that.
Yeah, it's a lot of. It's Peter Jackson's next big project that's not from J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yes.
It kind of reminded me of Howl's Moving Castle. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
That's a really great anime.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Cool. Is
Yeah.
that a?
That's my recommendation.
Okay, that's a good.
That's a movie recommendation from me.
We can talk about the animated Spider-Man movie.
Awesome.
Oh, that
looking.
looked so cool.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, we watched that today.
The
That
most
one looked really rad.
Different style animation I've seen. We saw that. We saw the Ninja Batman trailer. Very different.
Yeah, we had to show
styles.
AP Batman Ninja or whatever that was.
Yeah, Batman Ninja.
That one looks so
awesome.
cool.
You and I talked about that on the What It's Like to Lose episode of Journey into Comics.
Yeah, we did. We watched
168, I think.
That was a really good trailer. I'm so excited to watch it. And I feel like that's how Batman should always look.
You just want him to be a samurai from now on?
Well, I think they did a really great job with the Joker. Like, he looks terrifying.
Way more terrifying than any other Joker.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't
actually
wait.
properly creepy.
Yep, and I guess there's only 2 other trailers that we have on this list, and one was Rampage.
Oh, that's The Rock's new movie. It's based on the video game. It actually surprisingly looks pretty good, considering it's a video game-based movie The Rock's doing. #Doom. That's all I'm saying.
#Jumanji.
Did you see Doom?
No.
Yeah, don't.
Okay.
2004, I think, 2003. Rock-driven vehicle supposed to be based on the video game Doom. Yeah, it's bad. I digress. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I did see a trailer for that in Lafayette, actually.
You know, I think isn't it out now? Or is it a Christmas Day movie, too?
I think
I don't
so.
know. I'm not interested in watching it.
Yeah. It's not my Jumanji.
The initial, like the first teaser for it had me interested because it was a different version. It's like, oh, they're bringing the more modern kind of because now it's based on an old video game version of Jumanji.
Well,
but I don't know.
I feel like the video game movie reboot thing is already in full swing with the Lara Croft Tomb Raider movie coming out.
Yeah.
Now Jumanji, and I don't know. I think the Lara Croft movie looks good. I really like that actress that's in it. She was in that movie Ex Machina, and I keep wanting Nate to watch that movie.
That's a recommendation.
That's another recommendation.
Maybe we can do that tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
That'd
the
be
thing.
fun. It's kind of a downer of a movie, but
And the last one on our list is The Post, which is that
yeah,
yes.
the Watergate
also a
one.
Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah, you gotta love Tom Hanks.
He's getting him in there while he can.
I mean, he's got his catalog is getting deep. I feel like they're not all this. He does like his historical dramas, though.
Maybe we can highlight him as a director in a future episode.
Definitely. But yeah, it's based
Tom
about
Hanks.
one of the editor and the owner of the Washington Post during the Watergate scandal, and them trying to get documents out there and having
And the government
trying to bar the media from putting the truth out there, which also is kind of allegorical to what world we're in today.
I was just going to say
Yeah,
it
it's very on
definitely
trend.
mirrors that very topical thing. But it looks like it's going to be a great, well-done movie.
Oh, and Bob Odenkirk's in this movie, right?
Yeah.
I love Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
I guess we should probably get into the big movie that we all saw recently.
Yeah, so we watched all of these trailers at the theater before we went and saw the new Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi. Thoughts before we start?
My thoughts can actually be mostly heard on the Journey into Comics episode. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on The Last Jedi. To me, this movie, just in a short summary, solid 9.75. I would personally put it as the best Star Wars movie ever made. I think, just in my humble opinion, that while Empire was the gold standard, that standard got knocked down a peg with crafty storytelling, brilliant twists that you don't see coming, turns that were unexpected, and a whole entire just tugging at my heartstrings with characters I know and love, as well as making me care more for these new characters.
So I feel like we should preface by saying spoiler alert now.
Yeah,
I
let's
don't think
say...
we've spoiled anything yet. But
That's
still.
why I'm saying
Yeah,
it right now.
Yeah, from here on in, folks, we're probably
If you
going to talk...
haven't seen The Last Jedi,
I don't know who you are that is existing that hasn't
Right.
seen it,
Someone's
but
already seen
okay.
it.
based
second
off
time.
of their box office
me.
receipts alone, what was the stat?
Oh, okay. So, when Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out in 2014, I'm pretty sure, August of 2014, it did $95 million and was considered a failure by Sony.
Wow.
Okay? A $95 million weekend. Over the course of 3 days, it made $95 million. However, The Last Jedi on Friday made $104 million US.
Yeah, just in one day.
In one day.
That's a lot.
Whoa. I've seen it twice in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I plan on seeing it maybe 2 more times in theaters. I know my dad wants to see it at some point, and then we had talked about seeing it in 3D IMAX.
Mm-hmm.
We were robbed of our 3D experience.
Yeah, what the hell, AMC?
That was
We
bogus.
go
Did I
to
have
we got
glasses
the
for you?
No, that wasn't the problem. We got there. We had already got our tickets, you know. We get up there and they give us this little voucher for a free popcorn or a free drink because their projectors weren't working for the 3D.
Oh, that's.
And we had paid for 3D tickets, you know. So they compensated us by giving us a popcorn or a pop.
Which is.
Which
not,
I guess
not
worked
comparable.
out fine. I don't have contacts, so I didn't have to worry about looking like a dork wearing 2 pairs of glasses. But, yeah, that kind of blew.
I think one thing I really enjoyed about the movie was that I was sitting next to a very young kid who was probably his first Star Wars movie he's ever seen in theaters. So it was nice to hear their reaction
cool.
to parts of the movie, and like the dad like would sometimes interject a couple things to his kid because I'm guessing that they've watched all the movies because he was making some good add some good questions and
Knew the characters. And
yeah,
stuff.
at least maybe he's just seen Force Awakens, but he knew enough about the backstory. So it was kind of nice to be next to a kid who's experiencing Star Wars and on a theater screen for the first time.
Yeah, well, Star Wars has been like the thing. Like it's like December is becoming like a holiday, like Star Wars holiday. You know?
Yeah, we had It's weird though because the Han Solo story breaks that trend.
Also, there will be no
It will be
December
in
Star Wars
May.
next year.
Yeah, we'll have a Star Wars off.
Was it ever slated for December? No. It was 9 was going to be next May. Or not this coming, the 2 Mays from now. May 2019.
Yes.
But because of the director's shuffle, it's moved to its December date.
Correct.
Okay.
All works out in the end. And I think that didn't Rogue One get shuffled back to December and it was on in like September or something?
Yeah, it was like some late summer, early fall date.
Yeah. So, and it worked out. I love Star Wars and the holidays. It
Well,
just
yeah,
kind of goes
Star
hand in
Wars
hand.
is life, right?
Have you guys ever seen the Star Wars special, the animated? You guys are looking
Which
at me
one?
completely confused. So, in 1981, no, hold on, let me remath that. It would have been 1978. They did a Star Wars Christmas special cartoon, and that featured a segment called Droids, which featured R2 and 3PO, and a new character known as Boba Fett. It was his first appearance in the Star Wars universe.
From this cartoon.
From the cartoon. He looks different than he does in the movie. It was his debut. George Lucas was not thrilled with how the response to it was because it was kind of hokey. So they'd made some changes, and George Lucas has tried to kill the Star Wars special and make it not exist. It exists in various places on the internet. You can find it. But
No, I've never seen that.
yeah, it's very interesting to watch. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, very interesting. But I guess, Veronica, what was your favorite moment in Star Wars for you, seeing Last Jedi? I know there's probably a lot to choose from.
Yeah, there is a lot to choose from. Honestly, I thought it was a really good movie. I thought it was super solid. It was really reminiscent of Empire to me. You know?
But pick a scene.
Pick a scene.
Tell us your favorite scene. You have to.
I liked when, as much as I didn't like Laura Dern in the movie, I liked the scene where she crashed into the big ship and everything got super silent. Like, that was, like, super anime to me.
That was so creative.
The light speed, yeah.
Yeah, she jumped into light speed to crash into their ship and blow them to smithereens.
Made sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Laura Dern was a new character to the Star Wars universe.
General Holden?
Holda?
Holda.
I don't remember.
Apparently they introduced her in the Leia book. I guess her and Leia have been friends for a long time in continuity.
You could just, like, tell that she was just really excited to be working on a Star Wars movie.
I gotta like Laura Dern.
Yeah, I love Laura Dern. But
Yeah.
that was probably one of the most memorable scenes for me.
One thing that I guess before I get into my scene, one thing that really surprised me about this is I feel like this trilogy, by the time it's over, it's going to only have spanned not very long compared to the all the other movies. There's been a couple years between. This one picked up right when the stuff and was like a day and a half maybe.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if by the time 9 is over, if we're gonna only have like a couple months in continuity.
It might be. They maybe will have a year of time or something go off. I'm not sure what that is. What is that noise? Did you
Just
hear
the
it?
door.
Oh, that was weird.
But I think my favorite scene, which is what I actually told Nate when I early this morning when I was here was that because they on JIC, which you'll have heard a couple of days ago, they did their review with everyone, and there's a scene that I love that they didn't talk about, and it was when Luke gets on the Millennium Falcon for the first time in many, many years.
Yeah.
And he runs into R2.
Yeah,
and he has the interaction with him, and then he's talking
takes
about
the cheap shot and plays the Leia video.
Right. That was like, and it was the same footage. They had like probably they brightened up the color a little bit.
There was so much nostalgia in this movie, which I really appreciated.
This whole new
the R2 and Luke reunion,
the new trilogy of films has really pulled at the nostalgia and the heartstrings of fans who've watched these movies since they were kids.
They're giving the fans what they want,
and also making this the most divisive Star Wars. It's the worst rated on Rotten Tomatoes.
The audience, not the critics, but the audience.
Audience rated.
Why do you think that people are giving this movie shit?
I know why. Because I feel like the old school fanboys who feel like Empire is the end all be all of movies are just on this like quest to prove a point, and they're letting and of course, what are we in the day and age of internet? Everybody has a voice. So they go on and they write bad review and they create another email and they write another bad review. People claim plot holes in this movie. I dare someone to come to me and tell me a plot hole in this movie that I can't explain how it is not a plot hole, because everything made sense. Everything was pieced together nicely.
One thing I would say, they ended a lot of the questions that Force Awakens put out, like a lot of stuff that was set up for resolution, and some of them they got rid of in an interesting way. I don't think it was bad, but I think some people wanted there to be more to some of these like
what about raised parents?
That's a lie.
You think that's a lie?
And
I do.
Characters that they thought were going to be bigger and getting eliminated quickly. I think some people were upset because they thought the theories they made up in their head was not what they saw, and they didn't like that. Some people thought they could write better than the writers for the movie.
I didn't have any expectation for what this movie was going to be. I went in blind. I didn't really read anything beforehand, like any spoilers or anything like that. I just wanted to just have a fresh mind going in and just have a Star Wars experience, not knowing what to expect.
I fell into a Twitter hole on the hashtag The Last Jedi after I saw the movie.
Sure, let's talk about
it. I think the weirdest one was people hated the amount of humor in this movie.
Why?
I appreciated the humor.
The humor was well timed.
It just was.
It's
not Star Wars though, because Star Wars isn't typically funny.
Right.
But you had to have comic levity in such a legitimately heavy movie.
And
yeah,
there
I
was
agree.
A number of people were upset that Luke Skywalker called it a laser sword at one point.
But that's a poke at the fans.
Yeah.
It's tongue in cheek. It's making fun.
The myth of Luke Skywalker.
No one hates Star Wars as much as Star Wars fans.
Right. It's the same people who critiqued the prequel so much.
Exactly. And these keyboard warriors, it's bothersome because honestly, this movie to me is amazing. It was well scripted, well thought out.
I liked it much better than Rogue One. Man, was that ever fucking sad.
Very sad, but that's a very necessary movie. I'm happy that they told that story.
It was a great movie.
But God, is it depressing. Get it away from me. Bummer movie.
I think I said this to you on after I saw the movie. I think at the time I said I think there should be 10 to 20% less humor. And I think thinking back, I think I was kind of mistaken. I think I fell into that Twitter hole and I started questioning my own reactions to the movie. So I think I'm gonna get a lot of that resolved when I see it again. Because I realized that there was only one joke that I think went on like a minute too long was the "Okay, I'll hold." That one went just a hair too long for me.
Oh yeah, I agree.
The very beginning, like when
With
he
Poe.
he did it like 3 times. I was like, twice would have been plenty.
The third one was a little bit hokey, but it worked out because it was him stalling, and then it makes sense. So I'm going to read this from the JIC thing here. You said, you jokingly said you don't think any Star Wars movie will be better than Phantom Menace. Nick Maxon over at Brews with Dudes says, fucking decent. I love that as a response. Now I'm going to read, I am looking here. Where the hell is it? I'm trying to find my response to, because I only put like 3 words. Where the hell is it? Why is it not here? Oh. Spoiler free. Incredible, unexpected, new. That was what I
would agree with that 100%.
It left nothing but a good taste in my mouth. And I said this to you before, leaving you with more questions than answers.
It was, and people. Also, I think some people were upset that I think some people wanted it to be an Empire rehash like Force Awakens was compared to Awakens, but it went compared to A New Hope, but it went its own way. It had its own progression. It didn't feel.
It's more like Return of the Jedi.
It took what was good.
Think about it. Return of the Jedi. What
Maybe
does
it's an
Vader
amalgamation
do?
of both.
What does Vader do? He kills the Emperor.
Yeah, that is.
Oh man, wasn't that a satisfying scene? The Snoke scene.
Oh fuck! I said
Snoke
it on
getting
JIC.
snuffed.
Everything in the Red Room was the best parts of the movie.
I would agree.
Rey and Ren going back to back, my fucking heart jumped. I was like,
That was a great
I cannot
moment.
believe I'm seeing this.
Also,
Yes, Ben
I also
Solo.
liked how much he was showing how his strength, how much he was toying with Rey when she was in there, like with the lightsaber, with just throwing her around the room like she was nothing,
Forcing her to watch as the ships were being blown up.
Yeah, he just
Man, the carnage is real in Star Wars.
the amount of
yeah.
stuff that wasn't blood that looked like blood in this movie.
Luke getting shot at. That first shot looked like he got exploded into.
Could you imagine if they just said that was it? If that was just he just got exploded by
and then
a-
he's dead.
It kind of would have been great, honestly. I would have been like, oh, fuck,
But then
I
we
guess.
wouldn't have gotten
There was a
that
lot
rad
of stuff
reunion
that I
with
thought might have
Yoda.
been deaths that. Well, I think. Sorry, before I get there, when they threw the one perennial guard, the guard, the red guard.
The red guards.
Oh, one of the red guards.
When he just throws them into the thing, they just get shredded, and it's just red chunks of stuff. I'm like,
Yes.
I hope that's armor.
Well, yeah, it's all armor. It's just brilliantly done. It's no wonder that Ryan Johnson got offered his own trilogy.
And the Salt Planet harkened back to Empire with
Hoth.
its snow-ish.
And the trenches.
And the trenches.
You know, the AT-ATs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah,
of
there was a lot of
comparisons.
nostalgia in this
I
movie.
also love the. I think one thing I really liked was the Ren Hux power struggle.
Yeah.
It was almost like brothers fighting for their father's approval. Was a lot of that movie in
Thor
the
and
beginning.
Loki fighting for the throne.
Very very similar.
You know, and of course Hux has the mind to run the army, and Ren has the power to make Hux his bitch.
He goes,
so
why do you think you're in charge?
he just like
No.
pushes him into the thing, like, and then the other guy in the ship's like, "Yes, Captain," you know, just drops him
I
down.
think they called him Supreme Leader by the
Or
end.
yes,
of it.
Supreme Leader. Yeah, that's right.
So I'm not a fan of Supreme Leader. It seems like too much title.
Supreme Leader Ren.
Yeah, it's
That's
and also
kinda dope.
one of the there was no Knights of Ren in this movie.
Well, I think they're going to be resolved probably in the next one.
I'm really curious to see how J.J. Abrams picks up because it was J.J. Abrams' movie, and then Ryan Johnson did a Ryan Johnson progression. And then J.J. Abrams, I don't know if J.J. Abrams, he said he's going to basically play the cards where they lay. He didn't have as much control in what I think 8 was going to be.
Well, I tell you, he this week happened. You know, Fox Disney merger. The Last Jedi came out. Last Jedi came out, and the day it came out, Abrams turned the script in for 9, his first draft. He's that excited about it. He's like, I've got this plan. Let's do exactly this. So Disney knows the preliminary plan for Episode 9, and Abrams was nothing but impressed in what Ryan Johnson did. So
Right. 'Cause I know he said originally that there was things in the script that he wouldn't have done, but he's let Ryan Johnson do his thing.
exactly.
Which is you can't if you tie up your director, you're not going to get a good movie.
So I don't know if this is true or not, because internet, you
Right.
read shit. I read internet, you read shit. I just want to preface that again. The deal with Porgs. Do you know what that's about?
The marketing decision?
No, it has nothing to do with marketing. I mean, it's a little to do with marketing, but really there are birds that are kind of similar to that are actually on that island, that their rights are protected. And their rights are so protected that they couldn't, like, CGI them out of this thing.
So
it
they
would just be
covered
too
them?
much work. So instead of covering them, so there are birds that are flying around the island that look kind of like porgs. Those are actually birds.
But they put porgs in to explain that away?
Correct. So you didn't have, like, what are these random
So like the
bird
birds like on the
creatures?
cliffside and stuff they showed in like distant shots, but all the close-ups of the CGI porgs
Correct.
that they created.
Exactly.
They were
I love the
cute.
Chewbacca
They're
scene.
like the new Ewoks.
With the saddest eyes ever. Where he's just like
and
it's like you're
the snaggletooth.
Yeah.
He's got the one snaggly tooth. What you said the R2 scene was your favorite?
Yeah, that I just anything that references what came like that, the Yoda scene, everything that brought me back to the original trilogy, just it kind of warmed my heart, and I was like, yes.
I just love that this movie's message is learning to succeed through your failures.
Right.
Everybody fails.
Well,
Everyone fails.
I also like the thing. A lot of the lines came up where this will not turn out the way you think. Everything you just said is wrong.
Twice. He says that twice.
Yes. And then I think what was the other thing?
I loved his final words.
Oh, yeah. I talked about that on JIC, the beautiful Easter egg of Luke's last words.
See you around, kid.
See you around, kid.
Very Han Solo.
Said it to the offspring.
Yep, of Han Solo.
I don't know if I heard this on a different show I was listening to, or if you guys said on JSC about how that since Luke had closed him off from the Force, he didn't know about Han.
It was Brando. Yeah, he talked about that, how, since Luke was closed off from the Force, he could not feel Han's death, so he was genuinely surprised, and he wasn't tapping into the Force at that time because he had closed himself off from it, so Rey showing up wasn't just like, oh, now I'm in the Force. Like, he was even closing her off.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's one thing that you said back towards the beginning that it was a lie. So you think Kylo was lying to her about what her parentage is, that she wasn't lying to herself, that she knew that she came from nothing, was trying to make herself bigger in the story than she was?
I feel like her importance is going to hinge on the fact that she does not have parents and that she is the reincarnated Anakin. I think it's a very sensible play. The lightsaber calling to her doesn't make sense. Why would a Skywalker saber call to this random girl when it's only been in the Skywalker's possession other than the time Obi-Wan and Maz had it?
That is true.
And the only people that have been called to it are Skywalkers. So, I'm not sure
so
what
like
goes...
she came into existence and then those people took her in, and so she didn't think she had other parentage beyond these scrap people who found her were just looking for a quick buck.
Exactly. It's the misdirect, because just explaining simply, your parents were nobodies. They sold you for drinking money. The end.
Well, it's like a lot of the big cliffhangers people were worried about was like what Luke was going to do with the lightsaber, which he did.
Hilarious. Chuck it.
Like, people were waiting like, what's he going to do? Is he going to be like, turn it on and be like, yes. But no, he just...
slices Rey in half. Movie over.
I remember one of the things I heard from one of the shows I was listening to, that people thought Rey was going to be the one to kill Luke in the end of this movie. I was like, I don't see that at all. But that would be intense. Like, they thought it was going to be a double turn, that Kylo was going to turn to the light and Rey was going to turn to the dark. And then
I didn't think that was going to happen.
I was like, that seems a little much.
See, these previous movies have all hinged on a light character dealing with the pull of the dark. Luke, pull of the dark. Anakin, pull of the dark. This is the opposite, exactly. So, does it make sense that maybe Ren is a hero by the time this is done? He could, but I don't think it's going to undo... He's kind of a fucking cool badass.
I don't think he's going to be a hero.
But you know what? He also he says something that I feel like Rian Johnson is directly speaking through. Like when Kylo's saying, just like, get rid of it, the old, the Jedi, the Sith.
Out with the old and with the new.
Exactly. Just like...
Get rid of it, burn it to the ground
fresh.
if you have to, bury the past or whatever.
Yes.
That was kind of cool.
And then join me.
Yeah, it was an interesting moment watching them, like, in that conflict in her.
Right.
And then not even like, no, fuck you, dude.
So there's another Easter egg I forgot to bring up on JIC I want to talk about here. Glad I saved it. So, first time we go into Luke's hut, did you notice it? There's a necklace hanging. And the necklace has a red shard. It's part of Vader's kyber crystal from his saber.
Really? I didn't see that at all. I'm going to have to watch
Second
look for
watch
that tonight.
through. Yeah, you'll see it. It's just like a little red. It's like, you'll know it's a kyber crystal.
Well, it's because also we saw the necklace in Rogue One, so we kind of know what it kind of looks like.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Yes, very great.
One thing I want to get your guys' opinion on, because I heard it and I really disagree with it, and I didn't see it at all in my first watching through, is how many people are shipping this Reylo story. Like, either they're friends or there's romantic interest between Rey and Kylo Ren.
I mean,
like, until we saw those forced, or not the force of it, like
those intimate
the force
moments.
connection.
Yeah, and I think people think that they're going to end up together in the end, and I don't see it. I never thought about it at all.
I don't see them together. I can see people wanting that, but I do feel like they have put in intentional sexual tension there, because it's kind of a thing. Like,
they had like a shirtless scene in that movie at one point. I was like, that's a little unusual.
This is the most of a fucking Sith Lord we've ever seen. Usually they're pretty fucking cloaked.
I think they're just trying to like develop a friendship or like
really
a
high-waisted
connection.
pants and just like just see, maybe he's ripped. I don't know. I don't see any abs in this. Like,
What were you saying about a connection?
I was just saying that I think that like they're just trying to build some kind of connection between the two, so when they finally do have to battle to the end, it'll be like even more
Meaningful.
powerful.
Yeah.
should we talk
I don't
about
think they're gonna have a relationship.
What one of the actresses have said Daisy Ridley said that she's done after 9, that she's not going to do another Star Wars movie. Do you think that's a misdirect, or do you think she's out?
Who?
She played Rey.
Daisy Ridley.
I didn't hear anything about that. I don't know.
In interviews saying that like she's contracted through 9, and she says she's done after that.
Well, yeah, and then you wait 30 years and do a comeback. Look at everybody else now.
Do you think there'll be episodes 10, 11, 12, or do you think they're just going to do like more in the story that are separate from the
like
Skywalker?
Star Wars stories?
Do you think Skywalker Saga is going to end at 9, and there'll be other sagas starting? Or?
I do.
Well, with Kylo Ren, he's like the last Skywalker, right?
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. Because Leia will inevitably have to die. I'm really disappointed.
There'll be no other Skywalker blood except so he would, in theory, if he dies in 9, that's the end of the Skywalkers.
But if Rey is the Force spirit of Anakin, technically the lineage.
I still think that's a really dumb theory that we read somewhere online.
I wouldn't
that
hate
theory,
it if it happened, but I think you would get a lot of divisive if that was if that was true.
Well, I mean,
it would be just as divisive.
Well, yeah,
because
it's a really weird concept,
right? And I think some people would have a hard time processing. I think it would be interesting to see it goes full circle by the end of 9, that Anakin went light, dark, light, dead, rebirth, light, questioning. We'll kind of see how that whole circle ends.
Maybe Rey goes to the dark side
for half of 9 and then gets brought. I don't know.
Maybe Rey will go to the dark in only one way, and that's striking down Kylo. Like, she will kill him ultimately, and that's like the one thing Luke couldn't do to Vader.
Yeah, I'm also really curious to see, because I know I saw this when there was that crazy scene of them breaking Luke's lightsaber, the Anakin's lightsaber, into the 2 pieces, that if she's going to blend it into her staff. Because that would be... I think Brandon... Someone said it, but I think it would be epic to see... Because she's so good at that staff, and we've never seen a... Like, I don't know if it'll be double-sided, but I think it'd be like maybe a band of light in front of the...
saber staff?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Like, she just... Bam, bam, bam. Just like... That would be...
Well,
awesome.
and those Praetorian guards or whatever, they had like lightsaber technology at the end of their blades.
The blade that like could bend and like. No one got really in. None of them like. I think Rey got burned.
She's got a scar here permanently. That's a weird shape. It's like 2 flames coming together.
Yeah.
On her arm.
Yeah, I noticed it because they definitely quickly developed that it's like it's like seared into her permanently really fast. It sets.
I'm
excited for you to see it a second time and then message me and be like, oh my God, you're right. The second time made it so much better. If you were to give this movie out of 5 pizza slices, we do 5 slices here on the show. I don't know, that's weird, but that's what we do. What would you guys give this out of 5 pizza slices?
I'd go...
I'd give it a 4 with some pepperoni.
I was gonna say like 4 pizza slices and like 1 with like a good sized bite taken out of it. So it's not quite 4.5, but it's still the wide part of the pizza, so it's got a lot of meat on it.
It's like 67% of the pizza.
Yeah.
4.67% pizza. If we're going out of 5 pizza slices, it gets 5 pizza slices for me. What kind of pizza slices, you ask? The kind where you get a veggie lover on top of a meat lover, because everything's extra. And there's so much of it, and it just makes you feel so full and warm and bubbly and happy, and it's just comfort. The movie is sad and satisfying and comforting, and it gives you a little bit of everything. It's a roller coaster. It's an emotional pulling at your heartstrings. They have so many great character building moments. Finn is becoming quickly one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe.
What did you feel about his friendship with Rose?
I love it.
Do you think there's more to that friendship?
I think for her, she wants there to be. I think that's going to create a tension between her and Rey, which makes sense.
I don't think
Finn
that's
is
going
to
to
feel.
If that was jealousy or
No.
acceptance.
I think
it was
that
like,
Rey
like
and
happy.
Finn
I think
are
she
going
just-
to be like, they're like companion friends, you know? They're
I feel
they're
like they're
closer than
trying
that.
just to think about romance, but I don't think anyone's really in the romance mindset for this movie.
No, and I appreciate that.
There doesn't need to be a. Well, I think like when I rewatched Seven, the whole thing about stop taking my hand. Like she's a strong, independent woman who doesn't need a man.
She don't need no man.
But I guess you've already talked about it on JIC. But Veronica, where would you rank Last Jedi in the full span of Star Wars films?
List your Star Wars films, worst to best.
Okay. Worst to best. Phantom Menace. No. I'm not going to say
Think
that.
about this.
Okay. God damn it.
I feel like
I'm on the
everyone's
spot.
prequels are probably in the same order.
Okay. I'm going to say Sith.
Okay.
Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Clones.
Wow. Clones is the least worst of the three?
No. Damn.
I
say Phantom Menace is the least worst of
So
the three.
you want to do Clones first as the worst. Worst movie first.
Yeah, okay.
Attack of the Clones.
I'm going to say Attack of the Clones and then the Sith and then Menace.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to say Rogue One.
Okay.
And
Don't forget The Force Awakens. I did that.
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I'm going to say Jedi.
Okay. Which one?
Revenge.
Okay.
Of the.
You mean Return of?
Return of the.
You did it
Sorry,
too.
I did
Sorry,
it
that was me
too.
during
You did
the
that
breakfast.
earlier, and I got a little confused. Okay, and then probably The Force Awakens and
So you
New
only-
Hope, Empire, and Return or Last Jedi.
I love The Last Jedi's top for you as well. And
Yeah.
I think I flip-flopped a little bit. I feel like New Hope was further down for me, and
I love New Hope.
And maybe Return of the Jedi was higher. I'd have to listen back to the JIC episode because I did it on the spot too. So
Oh, okay.
Don't feel bad.
What about you, AP?
I have to do mine in best to worst. That's just how I can process it the right way.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
All right, so mine is
And you just watched this all in machete order, right? For the first time?
So that was the first time going through it. Machete order was just. It was, and I know you said you could skip Phantom Menace. I had to watch it again just because there was
did
stuff
too.
I didn't remember the majority of Phantom Menace.
So you watched 1, 2, 3 in Machete?
Yeah, so
Same.
I did 4, 5, 1, 2, I did Rogue One, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, 6, Force Awakens, Last Jedi. And I guess my order would be, this is probably a little different, was mine's Empire, Return of the Jedi, Last Jedi, New Hope, Rogue One, Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, I think that's.
The two Jedis are kind of on the same level for me, and I think my order might flip after I see the second time.
I feel like I want to rewatch all the Star Wars movies because I didn't get to before we watched this new one, and
It's
then
a
I
lot of
can
movies
like
to watch.
really give you my informed opinion.
Like I started watching.
We'll come back to that.
I started watching A New Hope, I think on Wednesday, and it consumed the rest of my week.
Yeah, I just kind of like had it on while I was doing other things. So, I mean, Star Wars is Star Wars is Star Wars. I've seen them all so many times.
When you just recently watched them, did you watch them in chronological order or in machete order?
I also watched a Machete order.
Do you want to explain what machete order is so people know
Yeah,
what the fuck
exactly.
we're talking about?
So this is the decision of the argument through fans. What is the best way to watch the Star Wars films? So you could watch them how they were released, which would be
By release date.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, Force Awakens,
Rogue One.
and then
Jedi.
Last Jedi. So that's cool and well. Okay, whatever. You get the story as it was released. But there's always a better way to do things. You could do it chronologically. 1, 2, 3, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Which I would maybe be interested in trying that at some point as well. But Machete Order takes the concept of preserving a very important secret in the universe of Star Wars. Spoiler alert, Vader is Luke's father.
No.
It tries to preserve that that's a very important twist in Empire, learning that Luke is Vader's dad.
Yeah,
So
that was great.
So how do you preserve that? Well, you don't let the audience know that information until that moment, and then go back and fill them in on backstory. So you watch Rogue One, which is your story right before 4. You watch A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back. Leave that, as I said to you, you can choose to watch The Phantom Menace, or you don't have to, because most of the information you need from The Phantom Menace is in the opening crawl to Attack of the Clones, which arguably the worst movie, but it's the most necessary to do the Machete Order because it's going to fill very importantly in the backstory of Anakin Skywalker. You do 2 movies of flashbacks where you watch Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. You jump forward to Return of the Jedi, where Luke's story at this point and Vader's story at this point culminate and end at the same time. 7 starts a new chapter. And it's beautifully done, and it's a really cool way to watch them. It's a lot of fun, too. The nice thing, like I was saying, though, with watching Star Wars is you can just put it on the background. I've seen them so many times. It's not like I'm sitting down just doing nothing watching Star Wars. I was like...
And almost everybody's really seen Star Wars, and so it's always something topical that you can talk about.
Yes, absolutely.
Would you recommend Machete Order to someone who's never seen any Star Wars movies before?
That would be the best way. In my humble opinion, like genuinely, I think that would be the way I would introduce a new fan.
Would you have them throw one in, or would you just leave one out of the equation?
You know, I would show them one. I think it's very important to see that and go,
Yeah,
look.
I wouldn't leave it out, even though it's not
would
great.
almost be served better as a standalone, not tied to the Machete Order. Like, you see one at some point, but you don't need to watch it.
Man, how would you do that?
I don't know. I'd want it chronological.
I don't know how it's going to affect Machete Order, too.
You know what you could almost do? Oh, I'm going to evolve Machete Order and timey-wimey this shit. What if you watched Phantom first as your, like, prologue, right?
Yeah, because it's the first story.
Then you jump to Rogue One. See all these things. You have no idea this kid is going to be a badass. You flash back to this other kid. Time, you don't really think that there's not a short distance of time.
Is it 10 years between...
Like 8 or 10.
Correct. That's actually...
an idea.
There it is. You did it, Nate.
We're going to update Machete Order and make it even cooler.
Did it.
Machete Order.
Fuck yeah.
Machete Order Part 2.
Redo.
Redo.
Yeah, okay, so the Star Wars, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
It was great. This movie did it all. The scenes were fantastic across the board. Everything just had great purpose, and it kept the engine moving. Long-ass movie. I could have watched another 20 minutes. I could have watched the resolve of what the
Ryan
Resistance
Johnson said
did.
the original cut was over 3, so there's going to be some deleted scenes that we're going to get in the...
Lots. He said lots of deleted. I would love to see a director's cut of Star Wars. Ryan Johnson might be the first to get his director's cut out. Also would love to see
at the end of 9, since there's the merger, getting the original theatrical cuts of all 9 movies would be...
in one box set?
In one box set. I would pay all the money for that.
Yes, me too also.
I was watching those, like, I have the new Blu-ray set with, like, Vader on it.
It's right over there. You can
like,
see it, yeah.
And just all the stuff that was added to 4, 5, and 6, you're like, did that...
That's another thing to talk about. He watched the Blu-ray released official Lucasfilm through Disney release of Star Wars, which had the special effects added in. All the terrible CGI, the dewbacks, the crappy-looking Jabba, the sequence in Jedi.
Like the one walking right through the frame, and you're like, oh, can
it's unnecessary.
I feel like there was some unnecessary scenes in The Last Jedi as well.
I watched the despecialized versions of Star Wars and in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. The despecialized versions, some dude, Harmy is his name, went through and found all versions of Star Wars and pieced together as close as possible the original theatrical cuts of those movies. No CGI, no BS, because they don't actually exist.
He was taking seamless?
They are seamless. You wouldn't even know. And he overlays multiple things. It's so seamless. Here's the cool thing. Seeing the modern versions, every time the Star Wars thing comes on, you get the real fancy, glittery Lucasfilms thing. The old school just said in real plain green text, Lucasfilm or Lucasfilm Limited Productions or whatever.
Didn't it start always in green, but like all the New Yorks, they kind of like they glittered them to gold or silver or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The despecialized editions, not Revenge of the Yawns, oh no.
Oh no.
It's only one yawn, and it's
Sorry.
early enough to not be Revenge of the Yawns.
Well, it is Star Wars,
Downside
after
of
all.
brunch.
It is. It's the downside to brunch. It's heavy on the belly. It makes
It's
you want to
nap
relax.
time.
It's
It might
Sunday.
be.
I might want another
Sunday's
mimosa,
nap.
though.
Maybe we'll rock a mimosa.
You also brought stuff for screwdrivers.
Yeah,
Good
we
stuff.
didn't
That's
get
a
to those.
brunchy thing.
Bro, I feel like we're intruding on your time here.
Yeah, I'm cool with wrapping this up.
Okay, well, it has been an episode of Foodies Watching Movies. As always, folks, check us out on all the different social media sites. Foodies Watching Movies on everything except for Twitter, which is at Film Foodies, because you can't have a long-ass name on Twitter. I hate that.
And tell us what you think about the new Star Wars.
Yes,
We'd
use
love
the
to hear from
hashtag
you.
The Last Jedi as well. That's cool. Also, V, you brought a cool idea to the fold that I want to talk about. Hashtag Foodies Watching Movies on Instagram in your food pictures. We
want to see what you're eating.
Yeah.
If it looks good, we'll feature it on our Insta.
And if it's really good, we'll ask for the recipe so we can make it ourselves.
Yeah, no
Yes,
shit.
absolutely. That's
Send us your
very
food.
well said, AP. I love that. As always, folks, check the Journey into Comics Network out on all of the different podcasting apps, whether it's iTunes, Podbean, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio. We are now on Spotify. That's a great thing to say. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes. We really, really genuinely appreciate it. Also, go to patreon.com/Journey into Comics. We said it earlier. $1 gives you early access to every episode. $3 gives you that exclusive, sweet content. Only your ears are going to be listening to it. No one else's. You're going to be able to go to work and tell them that you listen to something that no one else gets to listen to. And that's the best. I think that's going to do it for this week of Revenge of the Last Jedi's brunch. I have been... I think
Revenge of
that's...
the bacon sludge.
Also that too, yeah. But for this episode of Foodies Watching Movies, as always, I'm Nate.
I'm Veronica.
I'm Andrew.
And we hope you guys eat fantastic. Have a great Christmas. And we'll see you guys in the new year. Later.